Hi all, today we're taking a trip to one of the most beautiful and diverse places on earth, South Africa. You might know it as the land of Nelson Mandela, or that place with the really catchy national anthem. But trust me, there's so much more to this country than meets the eye. We're talking stunning coastlines, mountains that'll take your breath away, and wildlife that'll make you believe in magic again. Think lions, elephants, rhinos, the whole gang's here. And don't even get me started on the food and the people. Let's just say, South Africa knows how to throw a braai, and their smiles are just as warm as the weather. Over the next few episodes, we'll be your guide to all things South Africa. We'll be exploring its iconic landmarks, uncovering hidden gems, and giving you a taste of the local culture. So buckle up and get ready for an adventure. Because trust me, by the end of this series, you'll be booking your flights faster than you can say Hakuna Matata. And if you're from South Africa, well, get ready to feel a whole lot of patriotic pride. Let's go. Our first stop takes us to one of the most recognizable landmarks in South Africa, and honestly, the entire world, Table Mountain. Now, I know what you're thinking, Trevor, it's just a mountain. But hold your horses, my friend, because this is no ordinary mountain. Table Mountain gets its name from its flat top, which looks like, well, a giant table. It's like Mother Nature was setting up for a picnic and she decided to go big. And when I say big, I mean over 3,500 feet above sea level big. Now you can hike to the top if you're feeling adventurous, but for those of us who prefer to save our energy for the buffet, there's a cable car that'll whisk you to the top in minutes. And trust me, the views from up there are worth every penny. You can see the entire city of Cape Town, the sparkling ocean, and on a clear day, you can even spot Robben Island, but we'll get to that later. Alright folks, pack your bags, charge your cameras, and grab your binoculars, because we're headed to one of the most iconic wildlife destinations on the planet, Kruger National Park. Get ready for lions, elephants, giraffes, and more zebras than you can shake a stick at. And no, we will not be shaking sticks at the zebras. Let's be respectful, people. Kruger National Park is massive. We're talking almost 2 million hectares of wilderness, home to an astounding diversity of animals. It's basically the size of a small country, but instead of traffic jams and office buildings, you've got elephants crossing the road and lions roaring in the distance. Now, the best way to experience Kruger is on a safari. You can either join an organized tour or rent your own vehicle and channel your inner Bear Grylls. But be warned, driving yourself means navigating those dirt roads and hoping you don't take a wrong turn and end up at a watering hole during a hippo meeting. Trust me, you don't want to be that guy. Alright folks, buckle up because we're about to enter a region that's basically one giant postcard come to life, the Cape Winelands. Imagine rolling hills, sunshine that seems to know your name, and rows upon rows of grapevines stretching as far as the eye can see. It's enough to make you want to grab a glass, kick back, and say, cheers to life. But the Cape Winelands aren't just about pretty views, although they've got plenty of those. We're talking about some of the oldest wine routes in the Southern Hemisphere, my friends. For centuries, they've been producing some of the most incredible wines on the planet. And don't worry, I'm not talking about that fancy wine that people sniff and swirl and then write a novel about. We're talking about delicious, down-to-earth wines that'll make you want to call up your friends and have a braai. Now, listen, I know what you're thinking. Trevor, wine tasting sounds a little, how do you say, bougie? But trust me on this one. Wine tasting in the Cape Winelands isn't about being pretentious. It's about experiencing the passion, the history, and the pure joy that goes into every bottle. Plus, you get to try different wines, and who doesn't love a good sample platter? And the best part is, nestled among these vineyards are these charming little towns, each with its own unique character. You've got Stellenbosch with its oak-lined streets and Cape Dutch architecture, Franschhoek with its French Huguenot heritage, and Paarl with its iconic granite dome. It's like stepping back in time, except with better wine. And honestly, isn't that what we all want in life? A little history, a little charm, and a lot of really good wine. Alright folks, from the beauty of the Cape Winelands, we're shifting gears a bit to a place of immense historical significance. Robben Island. Just off the coast of Cape Town, this island holds a heavy weight in South Africa's past. For centuries it served as a place of exile, a leper colony, and most notably, a maximum security prison for political prisoners during apartheid. Now I know what you're thinking. Trevor, prison tourism? That's a bit dark even for you. And you're not wrong. It's not your average tourist trap. But Robben Island isn't about dwelling on the darkness. It's about understanding the resilience of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable adversity. It's about confronting a painful past to learn, to grow, and to ensure that such injustice never happens again. The most powerful experience on Robben Island is undoubtedly the tour led by former political prisoners. These individuals, who endured years of confinement within those very walls, share their stories of resilience, resistance, and ultimately, triumph. Imagine hearing first-hand accounts of what it was like to be imprisoned for your beliefs, to be stripped of your freedom, yet to find hope and purpose even in the darkest of times. It's a humbling experience, to say the least. And of course, no visit to Robben Island is complete without seeing Nelson Mandela's cell. That tiny, cramped cell where Madiba spent 18 years of his life. It's a stark reminder of the sacrifices made in the fight for freedom, and it's impossible not to feel a profound sense of awe at the strength and forgiveness embodied by Mandela. Alright folks, get ready to have your minds blown because we're about to explore one of the most dramatic landscapes on the planet, the Blyde River Canyon. Forget your Grand Canyons and your fjords. This bad boy is the third largest canyon in the world and the largest green canyon, which, let's be honest, sounds way more inviting, right? We're talking towering cliffs that plunge into lush green valleys, waterfalls cascading down ancient rock formations, and panoramic views that seem to stretch on forever. Honestly, it looks like something straight out of a fantasy movie, except without all the dragons and wizards. And the best part is, unlike some natural wonders that require you to hike for days just to get a glimpse, the Blyde River Canyon is incredibly accessible. You can drive along the panoramic route, stopping at various viewpoints to soak it all in. Now, if you're feeling a little more adventurous, the Blyde River Canyon has got you covered. We're talking hiking trails for all fitness levels, from leisurely strolls to challenging climbs that'll test your limits. And for the adrenaline junkies out there, you can get your fix with activities like rock climbing, abseiling, and even hot air ballooning over the canyon. I mean, talk about a view, right? But even if you're not an adrenaline junkie, there's something truly special about being surrounded by that kind of natural beauty. It puts things in perspective, you know? It reminds you that there's a whole lot more to life than just the hustle and bustle. So whether you're a nature enthusiast, an adventure seeker, or just someone who appreciates a good view, the Blyde River Canyon is a must-see. Trust me, this is one for the bucket list. Alright folks, buckle up those seatbelts and grab your sunscreen because we're about to embark on a road trip that'll leave you breathless. I'm talking about the garden route, people. This ain't your grandma's Sunday drive, no sir. We're talking about a stretch of coastline so ridiculously beautiful, it's like Mother Nature decided to show off a little. Think lush forests kissing the shores of the Indian Ocean, dramatic cliffs that'll make you want to yodel, and hidden coves that just scream Instagram-worthy. Now I know what you're thinking. Trevor, this all sounds very nice, but what about the actual driving? Don't you worry your pretty little heads. The roads here are smooth as a Barry White song. And the views? Let's just say you might want to invest in a good pair of driving sunglasses because your eyes will be glued to the scenery. This is the kind of road trip where you roll the windows down, let the wind mess up your hair, or what's left of it, and just soak in the good vibes. But before you hit the gas, let's talk about some of the pit stops you gotta make along the way. First up, we've got Knysna, a charming town nestled on a lagoon that's as blue as a Smurf on laundry day. You can hop on a ferry, cruise through the lagoon, and maybe even spot some playful dolphins. And if you're feeling adventurous, why not try your hand at some kayaking or paddleboarding? Just try not to fall in, the water's a tad chilly. Next, we're heading to Plettenberg Bay, also known as Plet to us locals. This place is basically a postcard come to life with pristine beaches, luxury hotels, and more whales than a Moby Dick convention. You can go whale watching, hit the waves for some surfing, or just chill on the beach and work on your tan. And for all you adrenaline junkies out there, you gotta check out Kruger National Park. This place is an adventure playground with bungee jumping, zip lining, and hiking trails that'll lead you to waterfalls you have to see to believe. Trust me, the views from the top are worth every bead of sweat. So, there you have it, folks. The Garden Route. A magical mix of breathtaking scenery, charming towns, and enough activities to keep you entertained for days. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go find myself a beachside bar and sip on some cocktails. Cheers. Guys, today we're heading to the east coast of South Africa, to a city that's as vibrant and full of life as a Bollywood musical Durban. Get ready for sunshine, beaches that stretch on for days, and enough delicious food to satisfy even the hungriest hippo. Now, when we say beaches, we're not talking about some little patches of sand. Durban is famous for its Golden Mile, a stretch of coastline that's basically one giant beach party. We're talking golden sand, warm waters, and more surfers than a Beach Boys reunion concert. But hold on, it gets better. Running alongside this magnificent beach is a promenade that's bustling with activity. You've got street vendors selling everything from sunglasses to samosas, rickshaw drivers offering you rides in their colorful chariots, and families strolling along enjoying the sunshine. Durban is a melting pot of cultures, and you can feel it in the air. From the spicy aromas of Indian curries wafting from restaurants to the sounds of Zulu music filling the streets, this city is a sensory overload in the best way possible. Now I know what you're thinking. Trevor, this Golden Mile sounds amazing, but is there anything to do besides work on my tan? Well, my friend, you clearly underestimate the magic of Durban. For starters, you can dive into the underwater world at Ushaka Marine World. This place is more than just an aquarium. It's a full-blown marine theme park with dolphin shows, shark dives, and enough water slides to make you feel like a kid again. Just try not to get eaten by a shark, okay? If you're a history buff, a visit to the Durban City Hall is a must. This grand old building has witnessed some of South Africa's most pivotal moments, and its architecture is a beautiful blend of Victorian and Edwardian styles. Plus, you can impress your friends with your newfound knowledge about Durban's past. And for all you foodies out there, Durban is a culinary paradise. From bunny chow, don't worry, no bunnies were harmed in the making of this dish, to Durban-style curry, your taste buds are in for a treat. And don't even get me started on the pineapple on pizza debate. In Durban, anything goes. So there you have it, folks. Durban's Golden Mile, a place where you can soak up the sun, dive into the culture, and tantalize your taste buds. It's no wonder they call it the Sunshine City. All right, adventure seekers, get ready to have your minds blown. Today we're venturing into the heart of South Africa, to the Drakensberg Mountains, where mountains pierce the sky and waterfalls cascade like tears of joy. These towering peaks, some reaching over 11,000 feet, are not for the faint of heart. But trust me, the views from up there are worth every step. The Drakensberg is home to a surprising amount of biodiversity. And as you hike, keep your eyes peeled for sandrock art, depicting lives, beliefs, and stories from millennia ago. Feeling adventurous? Try rock climbing or abseiling on world-renowned cliffs. The Drakensberg Mountains, a place of breathtaking beauty, ancient history, and endless adventure. Disconnect from the hustle and reconnect with nature. Stellenbosch, guys. It's not just another pretty town. It's like the wise old grandfather of South Africa's wine regions. Founded way back in 1679, it's got history oozing out of its Cape Dutch architecture. You can practically hear the stories whispering from the oak trees. And speaking of oak, Stellenbosch is famous for its oak-lined avenues. Picture this. You're strolling down the street, sunlight dappling through the leaves, the aroma of freshly baked bread wafting from a nearby cafe. It's enough to make you want to buy a beret and start writing poetry, even if you're terrible at it. But let's not forget the reason we're really here. The wine. Stellenbosch is home to some of the oldest and most prestigious wine estates in South Africa. We're talking award-winning reds, crisp whites, and everything in between. So, whether you're a history buff, a wine connoisseur, or just someone who appreciates a good stroll down a charming street, Stellenbosch has something for you. Just try not to get too caught up in the romance of it all. You might find yourself buying a vineyard and never leaving. Now let's talk about the Stellenbosch wine experience. It's not just about sipping on a glass of Chardonnay and pretending to know the difference between a good year and a bad year. It's about the whole journey, from grape to glass. You can start by visiting one of the many wine estates that dot the Stellenbosch countryside. These estates are like little pieces of history, some dating back centuries. You can take a tour of the vineyards, learn about the winemaking process, and of course indulge in a tasting or two. But it's not all about the fancy estates. Stellenbosch also has a thriving wine bar scene. So if you're looking for something a little more low-key, you can pull up a chair at one of these cozy establishments, chat with the locals, and discover some hidden gems. Just remember, folks, drink responsibly. The last thing you want is to wake up with a hangover and a South African vineyard in your shopping cart. Trust me, international shipping on those is a nightmare. From wine country, we're heading to elephant country. And no, I'm not talking about that dusty shelf in your grandma's attic where she keeps all the porcelain figurines. I'm talking about Addo Elephant National Park, a place where elephants aren't just residents, they're royalty. Now, Addo's story is a bit of a roller coaster. See, back in the early 1900s, elephants were considered a nuisance by, well, humans. So what did they do? They went on a hunting spree, nearly wiping out the entire population. Thankfully, some folks realized that, hey, maybe driving an entire species to extinction wasn't the best look. So in 1931, Addo was established with a grand total of 11 elephants. 11? You could fit them all in a minivan, though I wouldn't recommend it. But guess what? Thanks to conservation efforts, Addo is now home to over 600 elephants. That's a lot of elephants, folks. Even your grandma's attic couldn't handle that many porcelain ones. But Addo isn't just about elephants, though they are the headliners. It's a biodiversity hotspot, with lions, rhinos, leopards, and a whole host of other incredible creatures. It's like the United Nations of the animal kingdom, minus the endless debates and questionable coffee. Now let's talk about the main attraction, the elephant encounters. And trust me, this is not your average zoo visit where you're separated by a pane of glass and a whole lot of awkward eye contact. At Addo, you can witness these gentle giants in their natural habitat. Picture this. You're cruising along in your Jeep, the African sun warming your face, when suddenly, a herd of elephants emerges from the bush. They're massive, they're magnificent, and they couldn't care less that you're there. It's a truly humbling experience. But the magic of Addo goes beyond the game drives. You can explore the park on foot, following ancient elephant trails. You can saddle up for a horseback safari, feeling the rhythm of the African plains beneath you. You can even spend the night in a luxurious lodge, listening to the sounds of the wild as you drift off to sleep. Just remember, folks, these are wild animals. So keep your distance, follow the park rules, and resist the urge to try and ride an elephant like it's a horse. Seriously, don't be that tourist. And that's a wrap on our South African adventure. We've scaled mountains, explored national parks teeming with wildlife, sipped on world-class wines, and delved into the country's rich history. From the bustling streets of Cape Town to the tranquil beauty of the garden route, South Africa has truly captured our hearts, and hopefully yours too. Thanks for joining us on this journey through South Africa. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more amazing travel content. See you next time.